Welcome to Discovery Watch with John Kaiser.
I'm your host, Jim Goddard. Welcome back to the show, John.
Jim, glad to be back on the show.
John, whatever happened to Northern Shield Resources, which disappointed us 4 years ago when a big geophysical target in the Labrador Trough yielded no discovery?
Well, Jim, we talked, that was one of the first sort of Discovery Watch companies that we talked about when we launched the Discovery Watch in late 2016. And it was called the Sequoia Project. It was up in the northern part of Quebec in the Labrador Trough. And they had this big geophysical anomaly in a context of a magmatic segregation-style deposit. In other words, a Voisey's Bay nickel-copper type target. But when they drilled it at the end of 2016, it was a bust. There was no nickel-copper in it. It was just another geophysical anomaly. And we haven't talked about Northern Shield since then. The company still had its Huckleberry project up in that area under option to South 32. They struck that option in mid 2016, and South 32 went on and spent $3 million on that project, looking for a more of a disseminated nickel platinum group metal discovery. And back then, palladium was still below $1,000 an ounce, and not the $2,000 plus where it has recently been. But South 32, after it didn't find anything that really met its grade requirements, it dropped out in early 2018. And so here was poor Northern Shield with its 200 million shares issued, very expensive to continue to do work up in the northern part of Quebec. A bear market was dragging on and on and on. And they came up with a brand new project in a much cheaper area to explore in Atlantic Canada, in Nova Scotia. And they called it the Shot Rock Project. It came to them by way of a prospector called Patrick Bellefontaine, who had found these unusual rocks in a part of Nova Scotia that isn't really known for anything interesting. In the sort of southeastern portion of Nova Scotia, we have all those deposits that Atlantic Gold had developed. Anaconda has something in that area. These are different style of deposit in these sort of shales, quartz and shales, and that actually turned out pretty impressive when St. Barbara paid over $500 million to acquire Atlantic Gold. But these rocks that the prospector showed Ian Bliss of Northern Shield were from the so-called Avalon terrain, which is mainly known for some coal potential, and they've looked around it for IOCG systems, which would be a monster if you found one, but it's like there's nothing really there. And Ian realized these sorts of rocks have all the textures and appearance of a low sulfidation epithermal system. And so in 2018, they did a deal with the prospector to acquire 80%. They've done a lot of field work, geophysical surveys, to develop this project. They own about 15 to 20 kilometers of strike. It's kind of a window within this part of Nova Scotia. It's right next to a highway, so it's very, very convenient. The hills aren't exactly high, so you don't need a helicopter or anything. But they did the maiden drill program this year, 8 holes, only 2,200 meters, drilled in the so-called highway zone area in various directions, and they produced the results. Most of those holes did not hit any really interesting gold, but one of them, number 4, had 2 snippets of decent grade gold. Now, 3 meters of 4-gram gold and 2.5 grams silver is not exciting. Another interval was 2.45 meters of 12-gram gold and 9 grams silver. Now, that's a bit more interesting. And the market, it's traded some stock. It's up a few pennies, but with over 250 million fully diluted, market's kind of shrugged off. And yet, this news is very significant, and it is a reason I am making the Shot Rock Project of Northern Shield Resources a new Discovery Watch candidate. What this result told them was Yeah, they already knew they had a low sulfidation epithermal system. The gold that they would find in the rocks, the highest it ever got in any of the float they found was 5 grams per ton. Most of it was in that sort of 100 to 200 ppb, or 0.1 to 0.2 gram, sort of anomalous gold. And there's many, many low sulfidation epithermal systems with a silica cap around the world where there's some gold and silver present, but there's none of those bonanza grades where you get, multiple ounces of gold and tens of ounces of silver. Your classic Comstock, Walker Lane type of system. You have 8 million ounces gold and 200 million ounces silver, or Hishikiri in Japan. And the most recent example that we've had was West Haven Ventures and its Shovel Nose project in the Spence's Bridge Belt in British Columbia. And there's a certain parallel here. The Spence's Bridge Belt, it's been known to have this epithermal gold potential for ages. West Haven, when it took over from others that had spent 10 years accomplishing nothing, it spent another 7-8 years before they started getting a better indication of gold grade in early 2018. And for those people who were paying attention back then when the stock was still 10-20 cents, creeping up to 30 cents, they got a very pleasant surprise when in October of 2018, that suddenly they got the multi-ounce gold intersections over decent widths in what's now called Zone 1. And all of a sudden, that whole area ended up being staked by Talisker, which said this is a geological context that can have these Fruta del Norte style, high-grade gold, silver systems. And West Haven has continued to drill, and they maybe have 300 to 500,000 ounces indicated. The problem there was that some sort of fault cut the zone off to the south, and they haven't really found the high-grade continuation of it, but they're busy drilling many other targets within that system. But the stock went way up over $1, and recently it's pulled back to 60 cents or so. But the shot rock situation is very similar to that early indication in 2018. The stock has not moved significantly, but what it's telling us is that a boiling zone took place where gold started to get enriched. And in fact, the sort of geoscientists who had been looking at the rocks and that were saying, you're probably going to find the boiling zone at a 300-meter depth. And in fact, these intersections occurred around the 100-meter vertical depth. So this was a pleasant surprise. Now, the widths and the grades really aren't anything significant, but they have this sort of 6-8 kilometer dilational zone, basically where the rocks have been sort of stretched apart, and then the fluids from the epithermal system come through, and they fill gone through the various cracks in there. And most of the other holes, they were designed to try and understand the geology, because there's not a huge amount of outcrop in this area, a lot of scrub and dirt and stuff on top of it. So they were drilling for geological context and to also get a better understanding of what do these geophysical anomalies that we have mean. And hole 4 managed to tag into what is there's 2 vein sheets. They're not very thick, but they are parallel. And the next, and they sort of strike northwest southeast. And it's something similar to what Azimut has at that Patwan prospect on the Elmer project, where they have this northeast southwest shear structure, but within which there are these dilational zones, sort of northwest southeast oriented, and it's in these veins that come up. That's where they're getting the gold there. Now they already have very high grade gold there, so that's a discovery we're waiting to see confirmed and made bigger. But what this news told us is that the gold did the system did have a boiling zone. It's probably deeper, the best part where the gold really piles up. They now have an understanding of the orientation of these veins. In the part where they drilled, it was on the edge of a magnetic anomaly, and it's part of a gabbroic dike that comes through there. but just in the northeast direction that the vein system dips, there's a magnetic low before it joins up into another magnetic high, which flanks the northern part of the property, and that's an intrusion system to which this gabbroic dike is probably related. And what had them excited was, okay, this is probably an area of magnetite destruction. So they've got a vein where you can see a potential strike of maybe 300-400 meters. It can go down dip, maybe 300-400 meters. And that's the problem with these low sulfidation epithermal systems, is you have a limited vertical column of mineralization. They do not go down, for thousands of meters like these mesothermal orogenic vein systems that you find in the Abitibi greenstone belt, but you can get some very, very high grade. And they can see from a LiDAR survey that the government did that there are these sort of very subtle ridges of topographical highs that show up through all the bush and stuff, suggesting there's at least a couple more, maybe two more of these similar parallel vein sets. So the next stage will be to return with a drill and start drilling what they think is perpendicular to the strike of these, and chase it down dip, and also chase the parallel possibility, and see if we can get the grades and widths up significantly. So it's not like no-brainer discovery. Here we have a massive system. It's a very sort of subtle news release that tells you, yes, high grade gold, silver in this low sulfidation epithermal system did evolve here. Now, they do not know when they'll be able to go back to work. They had to suspend the program. They do have $900,000 working capital left, so they can go back in there with another $300,000-$400,000 program without raising more money. But in Nova Scotia, if you travel there from outside the province, you have a 14-day self-isolation thing, just like you do if you're traveling between countries. So they're basically going to wait until hopefully June, when all of this is relaxed, and they can and the team can go there, set up the program, and start drilling this within the new context that has emerged from this system. And within that whole dilation zone, who knows, there could be 5 to 10 such sets, and that could add up to a considerable amount of tonnage. But for now, we have to see the additional drilling in the main area of this vein to see if the veins thicken or maybe even coalesce at depth in the boiling zone, and that the grades pile up, and that, yes, we have something like the Shovel Nose discovery, the Zone 1 discovery, and the Shovel Nose prospect of West Haven. And that's when we'll get the big sort of discovery run-up. Right now, it's something more for all the geologists to say, wow, this is interesting. This sort of thing does not exist in Atlantic Canada. But it's in these rocks. I doubt we'll see a big area play emerge from that. They've done their homework with all the surrounding rocks. If this is something, it's a bit of a freak that they have managed to pretty much tie up. So if this is going to be a significant discovery, it'll be something that accrues primarily to Northern Shield.
We'll have more with John Kaiser right after the break.
Media recognition from Bloomberg, Reuters, recycling trade publications, patented process for 100% recovery of critical metals, including cobalt, lithium, nickel, manganese, aluminum. American Manganese is focused on recycling lithium-ion batteries for electric vehicles. American Manganese trades on the TSX Venture, AMY, the US, AMYZF, and Frankfurt 2AM. For more information, visit AmericanManganeseInc.com or phone me, Larry Ray, at 778-574-4444.
Avon Resources Limited is a gold exploration company with significant projects in British Columbia and the Yukon, trading on the TSX Venture Exchange, symbol ABN, and the OTCQB, symbol ABNAF. Surrounded by world-class gold deposits and mines, Avon's 23,000 hectares Forest Kerr Gold Project is located in the heart of the Golden Triangle in northwestern BC. For more information, visit us at avonresources.com.
Welcome back. We're speaking with John Kaiser. John, Galway Metals is another junior trying to make Atlantic Canada respectable as a gold region. Any news about the Clarence Stream project in New Brunswick?
Well, Galway Metals suspended drilling on March 20th in response to the COVID-19 situation, but they have still 5,000 meters of core in the lab that's going to come in. And yesterday or the day before, they reported results from 2 more holes that are good high-grade intersections. What their strategy right now is to stitch together 3 new zones, the George Murphy zone, the Richard zone, and then farther to the southwest, the Jubilee zone. And they've been working to close the gap. And these couple of holes that they just reported, they've shrunk the gap from 800 down to 650 meters. There's more holes pending. And the Clarence Stream, which is sort of southwestern New Brunswick, it's also it's not like the low sulfidation epithermal system that Northern Shield has in Nova Scotia. It's an intrusion-related gold system. So these have potential to go considerably deeper. They probably won't have the spectacular types of grades that these low sulfidation epithermal systems can have. But this project is progressing. The stock has held up well. Gold it has been doing reasonably well. It's been around the $1,700 level. So Clarence Stream is marching along. It's growing bigger, and they hope to be able to resume in mid-May. But given how everybody's now extending these COVID-19 lockdowns, it's not clear when they will be able to resume. But they certainly got enough core in the lab that they will be on track towards delivering a resource estimate for these new zones later this year.
We'll have more with John Kaiser right after this.
Engineer Gold Mines is focused on the exploration and development of the historic high-grade Engineer Gold Mine situated 32 kilometers southwest of Atlin, British Columbia. Engineer Gold Mines is fully permitted for surface and underground exploration with the drill program now underway. Engineer Gold Mines Limited trades on the TSX Venture Exchange, symbol EAU. For more information, please visit us at engineergoldmines.com.
Cypress Development Corp. is developing a world-class lithium resource in the heart of Clayton Valley, Nevada. The size of the resource makes the Clayton Valley project a premier asset with the potential to impact the future of lithium supply. Cypress Development Corp. trades on the TSX Venture Exchange, symbol CYP, the OTCQB, symbol CYDVF, and on Frankfurt, symbol C1Z1. For more information, please visit our website, cypressdevelopmentcorp.com.
Welcome back. We're speaking with John Kaiser. John, what's behind the recent price increase by Azimut Exploration?
I think, Jim, that it is the market getting excited about the resumption of drilling on the Elmer project in the James Bay area of central Quebec. And May 4th was the day it was all supposed to open up. They left the 2 drills stranded, ready to go on the project when the Quebec decreed its lockdown. But it's not very clear when exactly companies will be allowed to return to exploration drilling in Quebec. But the company did publish the results of the IP survey that they did on the Piqua project, which is west of the Mithril project that Midland got us all excited about last year. And the results are quite similar to what Midland generated. They've got almost 6 kilometers of coincide and IP chargeability highs, which are supposed to represent disseminated sulfide, and hopefully in this case chalcopyrite, coinciding with resistivity highs, which is believed to be some related to silica in association with this. So this is encouraging. It tracks the trend of the copper mineralization they found in both soil sediments and in float in the area, and a few places in outcrop. And even another 4 kilometers to the west of this, they have these intriguing EM conductors, which of course would be massive sulfides. So there could be something there too. So the market may have perked up too to see that it doesn't just fizzle out to the west of Mithril, But the obstacle with Piqua, where Azimut's earning back 50% from Solquem, is that the grade and the widths of the mineralization have to be better than what Midland ended up drilling last year in that period from March to right through the summer, and not much interest in that anymore right now. We need the higher copper grade, and we need the widths. That's what attracted BHP back in last March, April, when they gave $6 million to Midland at a premium to the market. And I've got a new guess who the strategic investor in Azimut might have been, who gave them $6 million earlier this year. And, we speculated that it may be a gold producer like Agnico Eagle, who recognizes the potential of the Elmer prospect. But maybe it came from an entity like BHP, who's bet on Midland, and the eastern part of this copper trend obviously has not paid out. So it's kind of hedged that it may have put the money on the wrong square by giving money to Azimut for later in the summer, when they can return in there and maybe find an Attica equivalent system on their side of the border. Maybe that's where the center of gravity is. And even if it doesn't, well, if the Elmer project delivers a multi-million ounce gold discovery in that area, Azimut's going to end up being a lot higher than what this strategic investor paid. So they'll get all their money back, maybe plus whatever it is that they had put into Midland last year.
John, thank you so much for the update.
You're welcome, Jim.
We've been speaking with John Kaiser, his website, KaiserResearch.com. I'm Jim Goddard. Comments made on Discovery Watch are an expression of opinion only and should not be construed in any manner whatsoever as recommendations to buy or sell any financial instrument at any time. Archived online at HowStreet.com. Discovery Watch is a production of How Street Media Incorporated.